You might be absolutely shocked to learn that the advanced F-35 pilot helmet costs around $400,000. So why is it so expensive? Well, because it's not just a helmet, it's like a second brain. From the moment you put it on, you can see the entire aircraft through your eyes. Everything appears right on the visor, that is the front glass. Tactical routes, threats, weapon status, radar data, and even a 360-degree view. That last one, the real-time 360-degree view around the plane, is truly mind-blowing. And what's even cooler is that the F-35 doesn't just collect information, it analyzes it right in front of the pilot. Before the pilot even makes a decision, the aircraft practically analyzes the battlefield and presents it to the pilot. It's as if someone is standing next to you saying, "Don't worry, I'm keeping an eye on everything, just tell me what you want to do, that's all." That's why F-35 pilots say you talk to the plane more than anything else. Instead of trying to control it, the plane does its job on its own, and there's something even more exciting about it. It's exactly what the pilots say. When they talk about it, their voices tremble a little. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you'll understand this secret. The moment you first step inside the F-35 cockpit, you feel like you're right in the middle of a super intelligent command center. But everything is packed into just 2 meters of space. There's a seat, a huge display, and a bunch of sensors that work together like a secret team. The F-35 cockpit is designed so the pilot doesn't have to deal with 100 buttons, switches, and bolts. They call it human-machine fusion. It means the integration of human and machine. This means everything, from the radar to the infrared cameras, all come together in one place and give the pilot a complete, pre-analyzed picture. Let me break it down a bit more. Distributed around the aircraft's fuselage, there are 6 infrared cameras. The EOT's targeting system is also situated under the nose section. And furthermore, there are electronic warfare sensors and a long-range AESA radar. They all gather information, and then all this data appears on the large touchscreen right in front of the pilot. This means the pilot has a linear, clear, and complete view of the battlefield. On top of that, the F-35 doesn't just provide information, it analyzes it too. That's when you realize why this cockpit is no joke. This isn't just about flying the plane anymore, it's about managing the battle. The F-35 has a funny quirk. It doesn't really like very low speeds. Not that it can't handle them, it can. Because this bird is perfectly built for high-speed hunting. On the other hand, it does not actually have an air brake or a speed brake at all. What's a speed brake? It's a large metal plate that's attached to the body or wing of many airplanes. When you open it, the plate faces into the wind and suddenly creates a significant amount of drag. As a result, the plane quickly slows down, almost like someone grabbed it from behind. This feature is really useful in certain specific situations, like when you're descending, landing, or you don't want your speed to go above a certain limit. This is the reason why many airplanes can easily reduce their flight speed just by opening up this plate. But the F-35 does not function in this way. So how does it reduce speed when needed? Well, this comes down to the pilot's specific skill, because the F-35 doesn't have its own built-in air brake. The pilot has to find a way to slow it down, and by moving the wings, changing the angle, or raising or lowering the nose, they effectively increase air resistance so that the speed gradually decreases. At the same time, the F-35's computer is constantly helping to make sure these maneuvers don't cause the plane to lose control. To give you a visual example, it's kind of like having a really powerful race car and you have to control your speed with the gas pedal at low speeds, not the brake. So in summary, with all these descriptions, you could say that the F-35 is so restless at low speeds that the plane complains and says, "Bro, don't take me slow, I don't like it." That's why its pilots say controlling its speed is harder than handling a spoiled, oversized kid. As the saying goes, it's not a job for just anyone. It takes a strong bull to thresh the grain and an experienced man to move mountains. let's get to the thing I promised you, the secret of the F-35 pilot's helmet. Do you know why this helmet costs about $500,000? Because it's not just a simple helmet. It's as if the pilot is putting on a highly advanced military-grade augmented reality headset so that when he turns his head, incredibly detailed tactical information, routes, threats, missile status, and even a live 360-degree video of the outside of the aircraft are projected directly onto the visor in front of his eyes. And even in the dark, its image quality is significantly better than standard-issue night vision goggles, to the point that pilots say at night the cameras show the world better than your own eyes. In short, behind that visor, you're really seeing outside the aircraft. It's not an illusion, not computer graphics, not a simulation. It's truly real. But wait, it's not over yet. Now I want to show you another advanced aircraft, a military one. I'll introduce it, which is also good in its own right, and then compare it to the F-35. The F-22 Raptor. This fighter jet is built in such a way that it can't be seen. In fact, its stealth capability is such that its body, its angles, radar-absorbing materials, even the way the heat from its engine is dispersed, everything works together so that the enemy's radar gets confused and can't detect it properly. So before the enemy even realizes there's something in the sky, the F-22 has already finished the job and left. That's the F-22 for you. It's not like it shouts out, "Hey, I'm here!" This aircraft has supercruise capability. Supercruise means the ability of a fighter jet to fly at supersonic speeds continuously and for long periods, without needing to turn on the afterburner, simply put. This means that this aircraft, with its very sleek and polished design, cruises at speeds above Mach 1.5 without using an afterburner. And that is why it is also so fuel efficient. It saves fuel. And even more importantly, it doesn't give away its current position. But what happens if it suddenly turns on the afterburner? Then its speed increases up to nearly Mach 2, traveling so fast that other planes can only hear its sound, but they cannot actually see it. On top of that, the F-22 has another amazing feature: thrust vectoring. This system changes the direction of the force produced by the engine, that is, the thrust. And by doing this, it gives the pilot much more precise control over movement, rotation, and maneuverability. That's why the F-22 can twist, hover, dive, or leap in ways other planes can't. Up there, while other fighter jets can only watch and say, "Wow, is that even possible?" But maybe the most interesting thing about the F-22 is its onboard radar system. The NAPJI-77, a radar that's kind of like a combination of an eagle's eye and the brain of a gaming laptop. The AESA Raptor radar is not something ordinary. This radar can track multiple targets at the same time and combine everything it sees with information from the other sensors to give the pilot a complete and coherent picture. For example, the radar sees one thing, the thermal sensor sees something else, and the electronic warfare system detects something different. Then it puts all of them together and gives a final result, so the pilot doesn't have to figure out data from 6 different screens. This means a smart, precise, and fast summary. On top of that, this radar can even analyze enemy radar waves, mess with them, and disrupt them. Now, when it comes to this aircraft's weaponry, I have to be blunt. Small, stealthy, and extremely deadly. The F-22 carries its weapons inside its body because any equipment outside the body increases the likelihood of being detected by enemy radar. That's why, when necessary, the weapon bay doors open up wide like a shark's mouth. The missile or cannon comes out, does its job, and the doors quickly close again, as if nothing ever happened. Of course, overall, the Raptor is inherently an air-to-air fighter, and without exaggeration, the king of the skies. If airplanes had personalities, the F-22 Raptor would be that quiet, calm, and mysterious person who never says a word. But when the fight starts, the whole room goes silent. Everyone wants to see what this one is going to do. Now we get to that crucial and incredibly exciting question. F-35 or F-22, or better yet, brains or muscle? Well, the F-35 functions essentially as a sophisticated second brain. It gathers information and assists the pilot in making lightning-fast tactical decisions. But the F-22, with its unmatched level of maneuverability, super cruise capability, outstanding stealth, and advanced thrust vectoring, it's completely unparalleled for unpredictable moves in aerial combat. That's why many aviation experts often claim the F-22 is the absolute best fighter jet, because it effectively protects the pilot from information overload. In other words, when a pilot receives a large amount of data, warnings, routes, and threats all at once, their mind might become overwhelmed and unable to make quick decisions. But the F-22 Raptor is specifically engineered in a manner that keeps the information as simple and focused as possible, so the pilot doesn't get overwhelmed by too much data. On the other hand, some people prefer the F-35 because it integrates all the information together, and they believe this fighter is more modern. But just stop and think about it for a moment. If these two fly together on the first night of the war, their combination would be terrifying. Honestly, if you were to ask me which of these two aircraft I personally like more, well, the F-35 cockpit is really something else entirely. Not just because of the technology, but because its design gives you a sense of calm even in the most chaotic situations. Everything is presented in a way that it's like you're looking at highway traffic from above, not from behind the wheel. Of course, the F-22 is still a beast in its own right. Especially its simplicity and focus on maneuverability, along with stealth, make it a true fighter jet. It doesn't say much, but when it's time to act, it's deadly. Now, I'd like to know your opinion too. Which one do you think is more attractive, the F-35 or the F-22? Leave a comment below this video so we can discuss it. These fighter jets aren't just machines. Their cockpits have turned them into entities that can comprehend and process, even before the pilot himself reaches a final decision. Superiority on today's battlefield is determined by seeing and understanding. The F-35 is the strategic brain, the F-22 is the raw muscle, and combining these two creates a beast that no one can stop.